Full time then at Anfield. We'll be heading back there for reaction after Leeds United have picked up a point on the road. That's 3 on the road, undefeated, 6 undefeated now in the league. And pretty good all in all. Bridie Hannon and Nigel Martin in the studio. I don't know whether I'm going to be watching the full 90 minutes of that back necessarily, but in terms of setting up to go and do a job, Nigel, Daniel Farke, as all as Leeds fans are, we'd be delighted to get the point there.
Yeah, that's really what he was looking for, wasn't it? You know, he's made those changes. He's got, you know, freshened everything up a little bit, rested the players that he felt he needed to look after. And the people that have come in have done the job for him. So it's been a good day. Did anyone
else get a little bit overexcited when Calvert-Lewin scored what we thought might be a win? Might be a little bit. Certainly got a little bit excited in here. We nearly thought we nicked it, didn't we? But yeah, definitely. Also, we'll take a look at it in a moment. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? Sometimes if you have that game plan, you need a little bit of luck, don't you? As well, things going your way. But you keep yourself in a game for long enough, something might just drop.
Yeah, and I think when Okafor and Calvert-Lewin came on, you know, you immediately kind of felt that little bit of excitement and felt like if there were going to be 1 or 2 chances, if it fell to him, it's going to end up in the back of the net, and it did, and we all jumped up and down, didn't we? But unfortunately, it was offside, and it was offside, it was the correct decision, but yeah, I mean, we settled for a point all day long. I can't remember the last time we drew twice against kind of Liverpool in the season, but I mean, it's a fantastic performance. You know, like you say, amazing football. We're not going to watch it back, but it's a results game, isn't it? And we needed that point today. And that just gives us a little bit more breathing space, doesn't it? 3 points on Notts Forest, 7 points on West Ham. So, yeah, feel a little bit more comfortable after that.
Yeah, and a clean sheet as well. I mean, first clean sheet since August the 31st. We've been talking about, Daniel Farke had been talking about, especially that Crystal Palace game, where it kind of felt like they almost gave up the opportunity for that clean sheet. How important it was to be able to do that. To go and do that at Anfield, poor old Joe Rodon. I mean, who's been playing great as well. Poor old Joe Rodon's, you know, out the team, they get a clean sheet. Some of the fun is football is a funny game, isn't it? But important for confidence to shut out a team. Yeah, defensively we're very solid. Liverpool were disappointing in a forward sense. They didn't really have any width. Once Frimpong he did okay in the first half, second half. You know, didn't see anything from him, and nothing from wide areas. So they didn't really cause us the problems they could have done. We were happy with all the play in the middle of the sort of width of the 18-yard box. Found that a lot easier to defend, and the boys did it perfectly. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, when you look on balance sheets of players and how much they cost and wages and all this kind of stuff. You look through that Liverpool team, it's not quite happening for them, really, isn't it? Because they've got all that talent there, but unable to break down a team that were stubborn and were resolute in defence, and Leeds are playing as a team at the moment.
Yeah, they are, and it's like what we said at half-time. It's a very, very difficult and tiring sport. You know, you've got to be communicating as well, and that's even more important when you've not got the ball and you're out of possession. But I just thought we looked organised, we looked compact, and if we lost the ball, we won it back. Yes, there was a few misplaced passes, as was Liverpool as well, but I just think they got the game plan absolutely spot on, and you know, the players absolutely worked the socks off. I think he made changes at the right time, and I know Daniel Farke's had criticism for that in the past. But I thought he did everything spot on tonight. And the players, that will feel like a win tonight. Even though it was a draw, it was a point, it will feel like a win to them. Yeah,
Nigel, let's just take a look through some of the action from the second half there. Liverpool with the better of the opportunities. Well, nothing clear cut necessarily. A shot at the edge of the box, and you know, a few opportunities. Probably the Van Dijk header was the best of those. But let's just take a look at some of that action from the second half. And Nigel, you can talk us through this, because Liverpool did push, like I say, without necessarily creating a huge amount of genuine threat, if you put it that way. Yeah, I think we frustrated them, and they were sort of forced to go from long range. And you know, unless you get one that ends up in the top corner, they're not going to score. That Szoboszlai shot there got a slight deflection, and Lucas has done the right thing. You know, parried it away, and it was a bit unfortunate for Ethan there, because that's going to be a costly yellow card, isn't it? So yeah, but we did manage to keep them out of the box for most of their sort of shots on target. There was the Van Dijk header. He'd gone a little bit deeper. I don't quite know why Goodmanson is marking him, but obviously I think that's something Van Dijk has spotted, that you know, we've got 2 big centre halves on the edge of our 6-yard box, and he's, you know, gone a little bit deeper to get that header, and that could have proved costly, but we survived there, and
Ekitike again. It was sort of half chances. They never really broke us down and created that one really good chance that would have been clinical.
Yeah, never felt dangerous for Leeds, particularly despite the amount of possession and the areas that they had it in. And then before you know it, and this is the perfect away game plan, isn't it? You know, you soak up as much pressure as you can. You maybe make some changes. Okafor comes on and just try your luck. I mean, grew up with the low cross there. You're thinking, someone tap that in. Someone's got to be there to tap that in, Nigel. But unfortunately, no one was there other than the Liverpool defender. No,
yeah, I think Calvert-Lewin was just a little bit further back. If he could have dragged it back a little bit further, he could have maybe got the tap in. And I think I'm not sure who somebody was coming in on the far post as well to try and get that tap in, but the Liverpool player actually positioned himself really well and dealt with the situation. OK, let's talk through the moment that got us all very, very excited, thinking we might have a repeat of that sort of Crescencio Somerville snatcher. At the end, Friday, Dominic Calvert-Lewin came on. We thought, is he going to be the one to make that impact? Didn't have long to keep that goal-scoring run streak going, and he nearly did, didn't he?
It did, and it was a good finish, and it was obviously offside, but he gets himself into positions, and I think that's the important thing. I think he's always there at the right place at the right time, and it was just so unfortunate. And what a great time in the game to score as well. But yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. But like I said, a draw feels like a win tonight, so I'll take it. But yeah, it was unfortunate that he didn't continue with his goal-scoring streak. Unfortunately, that now comes to an end.
Look at the Leeds fans, they were enjoying themselves when that went in. We all were a little bit, weren't we? So close, but again, showing the link-up play, you know, with Calvert-Lewin, who I guess will probably start on Sunday against Manchester United. Nigel, you mentioned it pre-match, actually. You called it. It might be sensible just to rest him. There's a lot of minutes across this period of the season, and actually just giving him 70 minutes worth of a breather, well, maybe that's going to come good come Sunday, hopefully here. Yeah, hopefully. Wouldn't be surprised to see him and Nemecha starting, because they did really well in the Chelsea game at home. So I'd like to see those two probably start again in that Manchester United game. So yeah, he's rested up. He still travelled. He still had to prepare. He's still done everything. But his legs won't be feeling quite as bad as they would have been had he played the full 90. Disappointingly, of course, Ethan Ampadu is going to miss that game. A game that anyone who knows Ethan Ampadu will know he would have been just chomping at the bit to play, which was really, really gutting. It is a yellow card. We looked at it at first, we were like, what? And then you sort of look at it again and think, well, it's an unfortunate position to have a handball. That's going to be a big miss on Sunday in the centre of that park, doing what we know he does, flying in for tackles, the crowd going crazy when he does it. Bridie, that's a big miss.
Well, it is, because we saw it a couple of weeks ago against Crystal Palace when he set the tone and he did that crunching challenge in the centre of the park, and that's the kind of challenge that you want to see against Manchester United, as these fans certainly do at Ellen Road. But yeah, it's his leadership abilities as well. You've lost Rodon, you've now lost him, so we need the other players to step up.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's two players that are going to be missing, that are really crucial to so much of the good stuff that...
And the long throw as well.
And the long throw. Oh, Nigel. Stressing
your boots back out, Nigel.
OK, all right. Let's get some reaction from Anfield. It's been a really good point on the road, another point on the tally, which takes us up to 21 points now. Let's get the thoughts of our commentary team after that one. They've had a lot of steps to come down from the top of the tier at Anfield. Here's Brynlaw and Tony DeRigo.
Thanks very much. Yes, we've made the long climb down. It's been worth it. The whole evening's been a good evening for Leeds, hasn't it?
It really has. It's amazing how that confidence is spreading throughout the side, and we knew it was going to be difficult tonight, no doubt. The home side will have a load of the ball, but you had to be disciplined, you had to be resolute, and try and, certainly when you had the ball, take it to them and see if you could, nick that goal on the break. But I don't think we did that so well, but what we did do really well was stick together and really work hard, defended magnificently.
I mean, you've got to pity the poor person who's putting together the highlights package in many senses for tonight.
Yeah.
Not that we're worried about that.
No, absolutely not.
But that's predominantly because Liverpool didn't really create much, did they? Perry didn't have a lot to do.
The thing is, we aren't the best team in the land. We can't go and dictate to every other side, doesn't matter where we play, home and away. we need to work out a way of getting the points that we need and play to our strengths. So when you come to a place like Anfield, you don't open up. You don't try and say, well, okay, you have the ball, we have the ball. It's, well, break us down. What can you do? And you're right, they had a lot of the ball, but didn't do much with it. A lot of it was in front of us. Perry, I'm not sure how many saves he ended up actually making. And the defenders were just, brilliant in front of him.
What was really encouraging was that those who were brought into the side, they seemed a very different look to the starting 11 tonight. A lot of players haven't played much football, but what a job they did.
They were superb, and I think each and every one got cramp, by the way, because they just worked their socks off. Bordenau, I thought he was, superb. Certainly coming into a side that is full of confidence, that helps, that's no doubt. James Justin, another one. I thought he defended really, really well, nice and solid. And Gruev had a difficult job. He and Ampadu in there, just trying to shuffle across, get his foot in when he could. But they all did it, very, very well. So clearly, they must have worked a lot in training. They knew what they were coming up against, and that confidence was there. And we saw at the end, they were all really hugging each other, saying, "You know what, boys, that's a job well done. Come on." So, and I said before the game, I think they believe they can come to places like this and get something, and now their belief will just have risen even more.
It's a strange place, this, isn't it? I mean, it's a big old stadium these days, and it was packed this evening, but it got incredibly quiet in that second half as Leeds were frustrating them more and more and more.
It did. I mean, a lot of fans around us, screaming all sorts of stuff. It was strange. That Liverpool side, not a team that I kind of remember, in that when you come to Anfield, you see red shirts like going everywhere. Here, no, they're in front of you. And so one player I thought was outstanding for them, Ekitike. He looked really dangerous. If they got the ball into him, he was a threat. But after that, it was stuff played in front. So for the home fans, frustrating. For us, I quite enjoyed it.
Another good point, isn't it, on the total? Just pushes on a little bit again. Another extra point on from those below and a point closer to those above.
It does, and I think back to the Forest game away, and fast forward to now. I'm not sure I quite saw this. We've been superb. We really have. 19 games. We're trying to get a point a game. Well, we're above that. We're 21 and looking good. But more importantly, the gaps between the teams below us are nice and healthy, and we're starting to look above us. So, exciting game coming up as well. Lots to look forward to.
Lots indeed. We'll hopefully have some reaction from the dressing room for you fairly shortly.
Yeah, and as soon as we do, if we get any reaction, we'll bring it to you here on LUTV. It's interesting that the points tally, like I say, 7 points now ahead of West Ham. That's quite a gap at the halfway point of the season. 3 on Nottingham Forest with a better goal difference. Suddenly starts just it compounds, doesn't it? And if you're one of those two teams and you're looking at Leeds today going to Anfield and getting a point in a game that, beforehand you say, well, they're not going to get anything there. Not good for them.
No, they'll be hating that result. Having been down, I've been down there myself, and you're looking at teams who are they playing next? Oh, it's Liverpool away. Oh, they'll lose that one. At least we'll catch a point up on them this week or whatever. And then when that result comes in and they've got another point, it is a blow to you. So we've just got to keep doing that, keep nicking those points, keep eking out that distance, because West Ham don't look a good side that are going to score that many points going forward to actually catch us. So unless they turn things around quickly, we should be okay.
Should be okay. There you go. I just called it. And Bridie, in terms of going another game undefeated, it's 6 games in the Premier League. Okay, 4 of those are draws, but 6 games in the Premier League against the opposition we've played. To actually look back, and the players and us as fans, we can look back on that list of fixtures and the away games and the home games and think, that's pretty good going.
And that's it. I think when you look at the teams, it's one thing, we're a newly promoted side, we've come into arguably the toughest league in the world to be unbeaten in 6, but then to play against the teams that we've played against and what's at their disposal compared to ours is absolutely massive. So no, really, really impressed with how Daniel Farke's kind of turned this team around, and we just need to keep plucking these games off one at a time and try not to kind of look too far ahead and try not to really kind of look too much at the table. I think we've been naive to think that you're not kind of looking at the teams in and around you, but each game you just focus on the next game and just tick them off and just keep collecting those points.
Yeah, you can You can do what you want, Brady. I just keep hitting refresh on the table over and over again, see what it looks like. Right, I think we can get you some reaction now from Anfield. Let's head over to Bryn and Tony, who I believe are with Anton Stach.
Thank you. Yes, Anton. Well, just as we were chatting there, Tony asked, do you feel tired? What's the answer to that question?
Yes, really tired. I think it was a hard game. But of course, when you're tired, it's so good that you took something out of the game, and we took the point. So the tiredness is, I don't care. It's fine when we have a point here.
Did you feel it was a good performance to win that point as well?
Yeah, I think so. It was a tough game. We had not many chances. I think maybe sometimes in the counter-attacks we need to be more perfect in the passes, but then we could create some chances because they offered some space for us. But of course the rest of the game we just need to defend, to be compact, to defend as a team and be mentally strong, and I think this is what we did today, and so we take the important point.
Yeah, I think large parts of the game you didn't have the ball, but I thought the discipline between every single player was superb today.
Yeah, I think you need to be perfect in these periods. You need to be on it in every situation, because exactly when you are not on it in the situations, then they can create some chances. And today we did it really well. We need to keep going and still improving, of course. And maybe then in the future we can win these games.
There's a lot of players in the group who are learning the Premier League, and you're one of those. Do you think that those lessons are now really falling into place?
Yeah, I think so. I think at the beginning of the season we dropped unlucky some points because we were not 100% on it in the last minute or last seconds, and I think at the moment we're really good in this. We take the points, and this is what we need to stay in the league. And yeah, of course we have many games now, so we need to recover and then keep going every week to get the points.
Looking forward to the next one, Manchester United at home. You'll know already that's a big game in the Leeds calendar.
Yeah, I know it's a really big game, but first I need to recover a bit.
Rest up.
And then we're looking forward to play at home. I think this will be such a nice game, and yeah, we have to give even more than today to win this game.
Thanks. Excellent. Well done, Anton.
Fantastic. Great performance, Anton. Good man. Good man.
There you go, Anton Stach for you live here after interesting choice of word, maybe a bit lost in translation. Nice game against Manchester United. That's one way of describing it. It'll be nice if we win, Nigel. That's for sure.
Yeah, he'll get his first taste of Ellen Road with that atmosphere against our arch rivals. It's the game as a player you want to do well in more than any. So he'll get his introduction to that, and I'm sure our fans will get behind them, and hopefully the boys can put in a good performance.
Yeah, interesting, Brady, hearing Anton Stach talking about the players. Well, Bryn put the question to him, but learning the Premier League. Maybe that does take a little bit of time to get to that point, and now they feel that that's where they're at.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to the Bielsa days. It was all a bit hectic and crazy. You know, we went forward and scored, and then we'd concede straight after, and there were some crazy scorelines, weren't there? But I feel like Daniel Farke's definitely balanced this team out a lot, and I think the way in which we've recruited, we've learned from past mistakes and stuff like that. So we just look a lot better this time around, and I'm excited. And I feel like every game was a battle, it was a fight, wasn't it? But I feel like we're looking in a much better position now, not just on the table, but when you watch the team, we are winning games fairly comfortably at the moment, and obviously we're getting some really, really good draws, and we've deserved the draws as well. I don't think we've got lucky really. I think we've deserved them, and in fact on some of the games you could argue that we should have won as well, and we've had chances.
We could have won at Brentford, we could have won at Sunderland last week, couldn't we? And we could have nicked it today, but I guess we'll be happy with we don't want to be too greedy, do we? We've had enough greediness over Christmas. I think we can leave that.
I can tell. No, I'm joking.
Oh, behave. All right. I tell you what, that was a low blow. That was a low blow. We'll wrap it up there, I think, if you're going to be like that. No, going back to the recruitment which you mentioned, we've seen the quality of a lot of those players, Stach, Goodmanson, Okafor, Nemecha, Calvert-Lewin, I can carry on. But then two players coming in we haven't seen that many minutes for, James Justin and Sebastian Bornau, has to slot straight in to that defence, and they go and have a great game. James Justin from a lot of people, Nigel, been given player of the match today. So just goes to show that there is a squad there that is capable of having the breadth that's going to be required.
Yeah, full credit to them. They've had to wait a long time to get a full start. and they've had, that's because of the players in front of him playing so well. But now they've held their hands up, and we can all see that they're comfortable at this level. So, it will take a while to get used to it, but I think our boys that we've recruited have certainly taken to the Premier League probably quicker than somebody like Wirtz at Liverpool, who looks really like he's struggling. So I think Anton Stach saying there that he's feeling like he's looking as though he knows what he's doing in this division now. It's definitely true. You can see in his performances that he's getting better and better every week that we see him. The
games are a really quick turnaround now. It's kind of interesting because, like I say, in your day, Nigel, it would be Boxing Day, then the 29th, and the 30th, that kind of, it's just shifted slightly later. So actually we've had the games in quick succession coming. So we've had the 2 away games, and now turns the attention to Manchester United. It's not a lot of time for preparation, for recuperation for the players. What will they be looking at over the next few days? Anton Stach answering the question, are you tired? Well, yeah, to that. And they will be. They do need that opportunity to rest up before Sunday.
Yeah, I'm sure tomorrow will just be, they'll be in for a very, very light sort of warm down session, lots of stretching and that sort of thing. When you've got these amount of games, you're really only sort of tweaking at things, maybe going through your set pieces again. You're not getting them running too much, but you're just making sure that they're ready, should they be needed at any time. Okay, Nigel, thank you for your company today. Been a pleasure as always. Bridie, as for you, apart from the personal jibes, nice to have you here in the studio as well. Attention turns to Sunday and Manchester United. Leeds start the new year as they end the new year. 2026 starts undefeated as 2025 ended. Hopefully that will continue into the weekend. All the action for you here on Matchday Live on LUTV. We will see you on Sunday for the big one.
Red Bull gives you wings.
TV? Yeah, it's the new Hisense Mini LED.
Should have asked me what to get. We've got a 65-inch with Mini LED, but you've got to be paying at least $2,000 for that.
Actually, this one has all those features and more, and we didn't pay anything like that. Looks great, doesn't it?
Something magical is living in my house. If I spill or make a mess, the next moment it's magically gone. I never see them, but they get everywhere. Is it fairies or mini little people? Is it you? Everything is so sparkly. Mummy says try not to make too much mess, so we don't scare them away.
No magic, no spells, just astonish.
Escape to a land where it's no work and all play. There's no such thing as speed limits. Where wild animals roam. And around every corner is a new adventure. Where you live amongst nature and giant rabbits come and say hello. Escape to Flamingo Land. Book your day pass online at flamingoland.co.uk.
Well, the game's really heating up now. Keeping that energy flowing. Talk about control. Constant, steady performance, no matter the weather. Lovely charge forward there. That was smart play.
That's an absolute belter! Oh, it's in from Longstaff!
Somehow, in slow motion, it ends up off the post and in.
He's queuing numbers, one of them is Dudley, great ball. Dominic Calvert-Lewin!
Like that.